This map first impressions video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Ballydorn Farm Sim 19. Now, this map can be found over at nexusmods.com, and there will be a link in the description below. And when you download the mod, you're going to need to unzip the downloaded zip file, okay? So the zip that you download, you're going to have to open that up because in there's going to be the map, there's going to be a ferry mod, and the store deliveries mod. All three of those zip files you need to put into your mod folder. It's very important that you do that, and I will explain that here in a little bit. And in addition to those three mods, you'll have a readme.txt file. Please go ahead and open that up and take a look through that. That will explain an awful lot about the map. If you only watch the first few minutes of this video, at least go take a look at that and spend some time looking through that. That will explain pretty much every section of the map, some of the unique aspects of the map, and other things. And in addition to the text file, is going to be a Word document. I know not everyone has the ability to open Word, so I'm going to show you what is in that document. But basically, it is a lot of pictures of the real life Ballydorn area and allows you to kind of see how does the real life area compare to the game area. In fact, I wanted to go ahead and pull that up and let you guys see it here in the video. So here we have the Ballydorn 19 Word document. First page is a bit of text giving you some background as to where Ballydorn is in real life, what goes on there, so forth and such. A bit of background about the map itself from Farm Sim 17 and Farm Sim 19. And I encourage you to go and take a look at this, or just pause the video, make this full screen so you can read it here in the video. But what's more important is I wanted to show you guys these photographs so you had kind of a idea of what the real life area looks like here in the top picture and what the equivalent area looks like in game. Bottom picture. Got a few pages of this just so you can kind of get a sense for how this map is basically trying to mirror the real life Ballydorn area. This is one of the entrances up to the main farm. The main entrance. This would be the real farm that this area is kind of modeled after. Now here you kind of can see the lighthouse boat right here in real life. Then this is the in-game version of that lighthouse boat. Hard to see, but there really is a Daft Eddies sign. And there is a Daft Eddies in-game. And there you go. So that I wanted to show you guys so you could kind of get a representation that this map is made and based in a real life location in Ireland. So let me go ahead and jump on into the map. Try to pick up the mods we typically use in our mod videos. We also need to pick the ferry mod. Okay, be sure to activate the ferry mod. It is absolutely critical that the ferry mod is activated on your very first time into the map. And it's also highly recommended that you use store deliveries mod just in case you need to reset the ferry, or if you accidentally sell the ferry, you're going to need store deliveries in order to get that ferry back where it needs to be. Let's go ahead and load up the map, pull up the log. Right, guys, this map has a drivable ferry. We don't have a drivable train. We can get in the ferry and drive it around. And unlike train, the ferry is basically free roam, if you will. You are steering it, you're driving it, you're not just making it go forward or reverse. See, the map loads up error-free, pretty quick. Let's go ahead and look at the map. Zoom out, and there is Ballydorn Farm by OYEEBO. And you can see the farm is mostly made up of the mainland here, and then there are 4 distinct islands, including Fred's house. So I guess 5 islands here on the map. We have a Forestry Island. We have Fred's house, which is used in a transport contract. Then we have 3 islands here to the north that have a combination of grass fields or arable crop fields already set up on those. Go ahead and take a look at the lands. And as you can see, when we start here on new farmer mode, the land that we own at the start is a pretty good chunk. It costs $616,000 if we were going to buy this in Farm Manager or start from scratch, or if we're going to sell it under new farmer mode. So this area includes fields 11, 13, 14, 16, 18, and 24. In addition, we have a cow area, pig area, sheep, and chicken area all on the main Ballydorn farm. In addition to that, there is a contractor's yard and a hill farm, and the contractor's yard is $229,000. Includes grass field 26. Then hill farm is $536,000, and it includes a cow pasture and a sheep pasture, as well as fields 21, 22, 23, and 32. Look at some of the other areas. We have the Forestry Island, which is $81,000. Another forestry area here just south of field 16, $69,000, almost $70,000. Field 41, I believe, is the biggest field on the map, $264,000. And as a kind of incentive, we have fields over here that are priced a little bit cheaper than the mainland. Look here at area 50, $63,000. And if we look at how big that field is, I would say it's kind of comparative to area 6, and it is priced at $72. So as you can see, we have all of our standard crops here on the map, and we have multiple sell points that accept most of our crops, a lot of different sell points. We're going to have pretty good economy here on the map as far as price competitiveness. In addition to that, we have our AM wool sell point. We're going to accept our wool and cotton. We have several sell points for eggs, sell point for milk. We have 2 dedicated sell points for our fruit crops, the AM sugar beet and AM potatoes. We have a wood chip sell point down there at the AM wood chips. While we do not own the BGA at the start, BGA does have a slurry pit that we can sell manure and slurry to. Let's take a look here at the BGA, which is right here, and buy the BGA for $30,000. Also have a horse area up here for another $30,000. Yep. We have a decent list of starting equipment given the size of this map. So that is pretty good. You need to sell all this off and get a pretty good start as far as the bank account goes, or start from using that base equipment. And while we have sheep, pigs, chicken, and cows on the main farm, we do not have any of those animals at the beginning. We do have contracts. We have custom transport contracts as well as fieldwork contracts. Take a look at some of these field sizes. So field 8, 7.33 acres. 49 is 5.44. Texas 36 is 5.9. Here's 8, 36. Right here. And what was the other one? 49. 49. Over here on the island. That will give you a little representation on how big these fields are compared to other maps. Let's take a look at our starting equipment. We start out by owning 4 tractors: the Fiat 1300 DT, the Fendt 716 Vario, Massey Ferguson 7719, and the John Deere 6135M, range in horsepower from 142 horsepower to 210 horsepower. Also have the New Holland TX32 harvester with grain header. We have the Massey Ferguson 9407S telehandler. We have the Manitou forklift, EDK 1600 trailer, SEK 802 trailer, the POH 5 plow, Sprint R300S seeder, we have the Kuhn Deltas 1302 fertilize sprayer. We have the Bredal K105 fertilize and lime spreader. We have the side mower. We have the Rapide 580V forage wagon, Joskin's animal trailer, as well as the Joskin's water trailer. And we have the telehandler shovel, bale fork, and pallet fork. We have the header trailer, and most importantly, we have the Ferry Mod. So no matter what game mode you start on, be it start from scratch, farm manager, or new farmer mode, you have the ferry at the start. Now, should you sell the ferry, you're going to need, again, to use the store deliveries mod in order to buy it, because you can buy the ferry. Go to the garage, to remember where it might be. It's under tools and miscellaneous. If we buy this, it's going to spawn down at the vehicle shop. Problem is, the mast here is too tall and it won't get out of the shop. And it looks a little odd driving the ferry down the middle of the road in order to get to the water, right? So what you do is you use the store deliveries mod to basically activate or tell it to spawn what you buy in the water, then buy the ferry, and then it will be all good, because the ferry will spawn directly down at the dock, and then you can make use of it. Same thing if you have to reset it for any reason. Go down to the dock, basically flag it so that when you reset the item, it will reset back into the water, reset your ferry, and then you're good to go. Definitely don't forget to back that out so the next time you buy something at the shop or reset it, it doesn't end up in the ocean. We start out the map here right in front of our farmhouse. Farmhouse does have a sleep trigger associated with it. There you can see the sleep trigger. And this is one of those wonderful farmhouses that you can get into, walk around, and explore. Got a nice upstairs area with at least one bedroom. And then we have the main farm here. So at the main farm, we have the cow area to the left of the main drive. And then we have the sheep area to the right of the main drive. So why don't we just go ahead and do a bit of a tour around the main farm. So we have our water trough here. And when we activate our mods for the video, we activated the animal pen extension mod. And what that does is allows us to place this water spout But the reason we activate this mod is just to see if the mod author has pre-placed this or not, and it does not look like that is the case. But that's fine. We can simply place this wherever we want and fill our water trough. Also have our milk trigger. We have, now this I am thinking is the straw trigger. I have to admit, when I was doing map testing on this, I never had the opportunity to actually test straw trigger. That is because, well, I was going to do it when I finally had straw in autumn. But by the time we got to that point in autumn, well, I had to reset the game save because we had a different version of the map. Here we have lights. Turn on and off lights. Inside the building. Or outside the building. Okay. Over here we have our telehandler tools. And then on this side of the building, we have the food trough. So here's the food trough. And then this is where we're going to buy our animals or have them delivered. For whatever reason, I seem to have an issue getting this gate to open from time to time. See, inside here, this is where we have our animal delivery trigger. Sometimes I can't get this gate to open for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. Other days it just seems to work just fine and dandy. There we go. Down the hill here we have our pig area. Again, we have a light switch to turn the lights on or off. This is going to be for raw. Okay. And then inside here is where we actually have to go to buy our pigs. Of course, we have the food trough. And then the water trough is actually around the corner here. So here is the water trough for our pigs. Now, slurry for our pigs is going to be kind of through here. There's the slurry pickup for the Piggly Wigglies. And then the manure for our pigs is going to be right here. And then the manure for our cows is going to be behind the building. And then beside that is going to be the slurry point for the cows. This building we can store loose crop or we can store bales into there. And this is one of our grass fields that we own at the very start. Water trailer of our other starting equipment. Then we have our sheep. So we have, again, lots of these buildings, if not all of them, have lights that we can turn on or off. We have our food trough. We have our water trough for our sheep. Around the corner is where we are going to be able to buy our sheep, get them delivered. And then inside the actual sheep area, we have the wool fawn trigger. The way to get into this area is not through all of those gates. up around this building is another gate that we can use to get into this whole area. We have some more of our starting equipment. We have our silage bunker for our cows. Even more vehicle storage up here. And then we have our chicken area. We have the food trough for our chickens. We have the egg spawn point for our chickens. And then we have our buy point to purchase our chickens. Right here. So that is kind of the animal part of the main farm. And what I want to do now is kind of take you up this dirt path. Rather bumpy dirt path, by the way. And we're going to make our way over to kind of the arable storage facility. Now, this is also where our farm silo is located. And then we can take this road down to the main road as kind of a secondary entrance. And this road will loop around and take us down to the main road also. Here we have a kind of a placeable yard with, again, more storage. Get to that through here. And then this is the rest of the arable farm. Lots of vehicle storage under roof. We've got our couple tractors up here, our harvesters up here. We have our maintenance trigger right there. Now, this is not a silage bunker. It is actually a power washing area and a recreational area, complete with basketball. All right, 2 points. You have a water trigger right here. You have a fuel trigger. Have a few pallets of seed, fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, and herbicide. Then we have a lime fill station. This is our silo. So we have our silo fill pipe right there. And then we have our dump area right here. So that is the main farm area. What we're going to do now is we are going to get ready to take an aerial flight around the map. I'll kind of talk about the map in a little bit of generalities. And then we're going to wind up down at the shop. We're going to get to Mahindra, and then we're going to do a drive around. And we're going to then hit the ferry and ride over to the islands and just kind of explore the islands a little bit. And we are Superman, up and away. Here's the main farm arable area in that little placeable yard. Then we have the road that takes us down to the main farm here, which has kind of the animal area of the main farm. Our sheep and our cows have a really nice pasture area there. We own this grass field here. This grass field is owned by the Contractor Yard. In fact, this is the Contractor Yard. This house and the red sheds there, that's the Contractor Yard. And then we also own this little grass field back here. It's on quite of a hill, so it can be quite a challenge to work this particular field. And we also have a water trigger way back here also. Go ahead and kind of get back to the main farm. And we'll do kind of a fly around in a counterclockwise direction. Pull up the main PDA here. Flying over to the island that houses fields 1 and 2. This is also where Daft Eddie's is. Kind of like the name of that. Here we have boats in here. We have the lighthouse boat. Ballydorn lighthouse boat. See that these islands are connected by what I call land bridges. They are basically little bits of land under the water that you can drive on top of to get from island to island. And that is basically when this map was sent for testing. The Ferry Mod was not something that existed at that point. So basically the only way to get around to these islands, was to use these land bridges. But now that the ferry's here, land bridges stay, just in case you don't want to use the ferry. But in my opinion, the best way to get around here is to use the ferry. This is one of the docks. The buoys mark the path that you need to stay within in order to use the ferry, and it loops around there. And there's another dock down by the BGA. Over here by the kind of the campground, we have the horse area, and the horse area also doubles as the barn bale sell point. As we move, see the arable farm yard right there, where we had all of the vehicles and the storages and things. And we're also going to have kind of a back door, a back road out of the main farm onto this road here. There you can see kind of the back road out. And then right across the street, we have the Hill Farm. And Hill Farm has a sheep area and a cow area associated with it. This is the cow area up here. Sheep area is that grass area down below the hill. And again, both of these animals areas have quite a bit of space, and this area does work with seasons. So this graze mod does work here. It works on all of the animal areas, I should say both of the sheep areas, both of the cow areas. And this map is fully prepared with seasons. Down here we have the BGA. Got some cool flame coming out of the what is that called? Basically when you're burning off excess gas. So we have our digester, and then this is the slurry pit. This is where you can sell your manure and slurry without having to own BGA. Ferry dock. A couple sell points down here. There's one. Got another one over here. Then this complex over here has several sell points. So we have a wool sell point right there. And then here we have 3 sell points. We have one for potatoes, one for sugar beet, and one for wood chips. And then on the other side of this building, we have yet another sell point for various crops that are not individualized. Here we have the dairy for selling milk. Another sell point up here, I believe this one is for potatoes Another sell point up here on top of the hill. Pull up the main PDA. Kind of see where we are now. So here we have a sugar beet sell point, potato sell point, main farm, the contractor yard, hill farm. Then down the hill here, we have our animal dealer and our sawmill. And then you can see the Forestry Island just ahead. Animal dealer down here, we have custom triggers for each particular animal area. So we have the horse area, we have the pig area, the sheep area, and then the cow area. So if you come down here with an animal trailer, you're going to have to pull into the appropriate area to buy that appropriate animal. If you just go into the trigger manually, just by walking up to it, then you're going to be able to buy any animal out of any animal area. Here we have the sawmill. We have our wood sell point, our wood trigger right there. We have our wood chip sell point around the back. And then we have the cool Forestry Island here. Has one of the two forestry sections, Forestry Island, and then there is a forestry section right there, kind of in beside the main farm. And this map kind of includes 3 towns. This town here has a nice church and a private school. At least I'm calling it a private school. Complete with a football field. And then behind the school is a delivery sell point. So if you get a contract that says you need to deliver it to the school, you need to deliver around back. We have one more sell point down here, kind of the low point of the map. We have our fuel station, and then not to be undone, we have our Kloss dealership. And this is kind of where we are going to leave it as far as our fly around. And now we're going to do a bit of a drive around. Go ahead and get our Mahindra. And what you're going to find is that all of the vehicles you buy here on the map are going to spawn inside this building. And this is why you can't buy the ferry inside the building, because it just won't physically get out the door. The little mast on it is too tall. So if you're the kind of player that likes to use the shop trigger or the store trigger, well, they're going to be found in here, kind of in the office area. And then around back is where you're going to be able to customize or sell your items. So we do have very tight traffic here on the map, so that is something to be aware of. This map is not going to be suited well for wide equipment. I would say if it's wider than 4 or 3 meters, then it better be able to fold up to work well down the streets on this map. So in here we have a sell point. Kind of tight to get into here. You're going to want to make sure that you have a small trailer or maybe a dolly trailer in order to be able to make sharp turns that are going to be needed. In addition to this sell point, there is one behind the fuel station right here. There's deliveries accepted here. Turn the game sound down just a hair. I want to make sure you guys can hear me well. Let's see here. I want to end at the ferry, so let's go this direction. And let's do a little bit of driving in cab here. Now, I will tell you that these hedges do not have collisions. So if you have a problem with that, well, you probably should be playing the game thinking or pretending that all of the hedges have collisions anyway. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal for you. If you're somebody that can't play with hedge collisions, well, then this map is for you. So as I said, around back is a delivery point at the school. And down here we're going to turn right, and this is going to take us down to the sawmill and the animal area. And again, the animal area has a separate trigger for each animal type. So if you come down here with a trailer and you want to buy sheep, for example, you're going to want to make sure that you pull into the sheep animal pen in order to be able to buy your sheep. Here we have cows, sheep, pigs, and horses. Then across the street here is the log sell point and wood chips. There's your logs. Wood chips are around back. And then this is going to take you over to the Forestry Island, that land bridge. We have our wood chip sell point. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of a double back. Boom. We're going to double back so we can get to the sugar beet sell point. And the potato sell point. Oh, I have done this so many times. So many times I have fallen into the wrong road. Completely missed the turnoff. So here we have two sell points. One for most of our crops and one for sugar beets only. This is going to be for most of our grain. And then this is going to be for our sugar beets. Let's double back and hit up the potato area next. Hey, this little Mahindra, it seems to be about the right size for these roads. So that should give you a fair representation of how narrow this lane is. Hey, these people just need to chill out a little bit. That was the sell point that we looked at earlier. Then up here we have a grain sell point and a potato sell point. What I get for looking away. Here we have the grain sell point. And on the side of the building, here we have the potato sell point. And this is where we came in at. Now the static animals here on this side of the road that we're looking at, that is kind of outside the playable area. So they're there kind of as decoration. Got some road construction going on here. Pretty interesting touch. And then a little further up the road here we have a water trigger. We can get water here. Got a bit of a nice waterfall going on. Now, if we come up this way, we're going to be able to go into the contractor yard. Kind of a hidden way into it. Between fields 30 and 29. So there's multiple ways to play the map. Play it as a contractor, and this would kind of be your little yard, complete with grass field 26. Got pretty easy access to 27 and 25. So if you buy 25, note that you're going to need to access it through the Contractor Yard road, unless you don't mind just driving through the hedges to get to the field. At this point, we're going to double back again so we can check out the hill farm. Here we have the hill farm. And the hill farm is going to have a cow pasture and a sheep pasture. Also have this rundown, kind of a rundown farm. Going to have this abandoned farmhouse. Of course, we can go inside of and check out. Like we've got a bit of a squatter problem here, maybe. You have a farm silo here at the hillside farm. We have our lime silo. We have our slurry point. We have our straw trigger for our cows over here. Food trough and the water trough for our cows down here. If we kind of sneak back around, we have our milk trigger. Right here, we have our gate where we're going to be able to buy our cows. And then, interesting enough, got to come all the way down here in order to get to the sheep area for Hillside Farms. Here's the sheep area for Hillside Farms. And we have our food trough. And our water trough. We have our wool spawn. And then we have our delivery trigger. There you go. And the sheep, they obviously have a huge area to run around in down here. At this point, we're going to head down to the horse area. And then we're going to definitely need to double back in order to get to the last few sell points. Here we have the main road into the horse area. It plays like a very small map, but when you try to show the map off to folks, it takes quite a long time. There is a lot packed into this little space. So here we have the bale trigger. This is where we're going to want to come and sell our bales. On this side of the stack. Then over here we have the horse area. And we have the horse buy trigger. We have our food trough. We have our water trough. And we have our straw area right here. So it's interesting. Some of the gates on the map you have to get out and left click. Other gates are automatic, like these down here at the horse area. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of double back and head down to the AM sell points and take a closer look at all of those. You'll kind of get a view of the map from first person's perspective. See all of the elevation changes that go on. And you can probably tell why you really don't want to be bringing wide equipment through these roads, especially with traffic on. So this is the road that you're going to take for the sheep at the hill farm. So down this dirt road, that's going to take it back to the sheep area. And then we have a sell point here. And we basically have to loop around. It's going to be our exit. This is going to take us to another sell point down here by the water. Oh, this one opens. Okay. There's another sell point down here by the mill. Then on the other side of the bridge here, we have a road leading down to the ferry and the BGA. Continue down the road here, we're going to go to the dairy. This is the dairy sell point. Follow the signs around. Farm milk gets delivered there. And then we have several sell points here in the AM area. So we have the wool and cotton sell point right here. And then we have wood chips, sugar beets, potatoes, and then on this side of the building we pretty much have all of the other crops that this area will purchase. We'll go here. Let's make our way down to the biogas plant. Biogas plant is here at the end of the road. Got 2 BGA bunkers, our digestate trigger, our digester, and again, this is the BGA, what was it called? Biogas BGA slurry pit. So the slurry pit is going to buy our manure and slurry, even if we don't own the biogas plant. And now we're going to show off the ferry here. We're right here toward the end of the video. So we have a fuel trigger down here for our land-based vehicles. Okay. And then we have the ferry. So in some previous iterations while we were testing this map, the ferry was not operational, but it is now completely operational. So we have the ferry here. So we just basically roll up on the ferry. We'll get in it, start it up. We'll hit X to close up the barriers. And then we basically just drive it like we would drive a tractor. So if and when we need to refuel the ferry, we need to back it up and basically park it over here. This is where we're going to refuel the ferry. If we never need to do maintenance on the ferry, we're going to be able to do it over here. But in general, the ferry's basically just going to transport us back and forth between the islands and the mainland. We can turn on the lights. And we've got a nice little horn. We can make use of, and if you'd rather drive the ferry in cab, that you can drive it frontwards or backwards, either way. Basically, stay within the green and red buoys, and you'll be okay. Drive outside of the green and red buoys, and you risk sinking the ship. There you can see that's the horse area that we were just at. Going to loop us around, and we can kind of see the dock over there now. So this map author also did another map in Farm Sim 17. I don't know if he's going to be bringing that map to Farm Sim 19 or not. It was called Rathlin Island. And Rathlin Island, basically, you had to use this ferry to go between the mainland, which is where your shop was, and pretty much all of your sell points, as well as the real estate agent. Back in 17, you had to go to the field to buy the field. What he did was he put all the field buy icons in a real estate agent's office on the mainland. So if you wanted to buy any sort of a field, you had to go to the real estate office. The only thing that was on the island with you were your farms, your animal areas, your farms, and a BGA. So if you want to do anything other than BGA work, you pretty much had to transport everything on the ferry to and from the mainland. So you can see, you just pull up to the dock, get nice and lined up, unfold your barrier, and then drive off. So on this particular island, we have 3 fields. So we have field 50. Over here to our left. We have field 48 and 49 over here to our right. And we need to get to those fields by taking this access road directly here to our left and kind of driving around the shoreline. And then to get to the other 2 islands, we have to take this land bridge. Oh. And now we are at field 5. Field 3 and 4. Oops, sorry. It's a little bit of a maze to get around some of these islands. The old burned out house here. And like I said, prior to the ferry working, these land bridges were the only way between the islands. Then over here we have field 2. Yeah, I can make her way. Yep. This is a walking path. Like I said, I get a little lost through here sometimes. And of course, the actual fence has collisions, but the hedge line does not. We're going to go ahead and take this road around the island. And we're going to head back. Oops. This is the gate I was looking for. Once again, very narrow equipment. I don't recommend bringing anything wider than 3 meters through these roads. So if you have something that's wider than that, hopefully it folds up. If not, then you're gonna definitely have some problems. You can see the old castle. And then we have our Daft Eddie sign, Skitterick sails, White Rock boats, and Strangeford moorings. And once again, we are back at Ballydorn Farm, right where we started. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of Ballydorn Farm for Farm Sim 19? And until next time, happy farming. Be sure to click that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.